All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Federico Show. Week 3 recap is here with Vince Angelini doing it every week. Gonna be released every Monday. I didn't get to go to the game this week. I didn't coach this week. I was too busy at the CFC Prospect game. Absolute great weekend, by the way. Thank you for Ryan McCabe for letting me come out into the lead. Those boys did an amazing job, and it was an amazing weekend. But yeah, here's week 3 recap of the JV loop. The Welland Warriors, though, do fall short of a win against G-Fest. But, it was a rainy Thursday for all the games, actually. So here is the week 3 recap with Vince Angelini, the commish. All right, guys, week 3 wrapped up. I'm here with Vince for another recap of the weeks. Vince, another solid but rainy week. How do you think the games went? But actually, before we start about JV Loop, actually, let's talk about the Niagara Generals. Sorry, I don't know why I just skipped so ahead, but let's do this. Niagara Generals, they sweep again. Is that true? Is that what I saw?
Buddy, like yeah, like clockwork. All three games, all three wins. Yeah, huge for the program. And again, you're seeing like some kids, like some really good pieces, with the Generals moving up all the way from from Adam Pee Wee up into right up into Bantam. So a really successful week. Kudos to all the coaches, and yeah, we've been getting a lot of videos and stuff to share on our Football Niagara Instagram account. So yeah, the kids are looking really good, really good. They're dominating.
The boys are looking legit as always. The Niagara Generals. Let's go to now. Now we can do the recap of the JV loop. I'm glad to see the Niagara Generals doing good though. But we had 3 games, Thursday night classics, a lot of rain, but closer games, running the ball a lot. But let's start with 6:30 game at G Fest. My Welland Warriors fall to 0-2 in the year, but yeah, 0-2 on the year to G Fest, 14-6. Cam McCray, he can still run
Uh,
it. He is the man.
that's his game, right? You know what I mean? So like that kind of weather, like Cam will make the difference in a game like that. But yeah, for sure, like the weather affected every game this week. So the not so classic Thursday weather, it was soggy to say the least. I mean, I'm sure your coaches will tell you. Like I was there for 4 hours plus, and I was just like soaked right through everything. And but yeah, it was fun. But you knew that the rain would nullify a lot of the the passing game, and so it would be really a running attack that was going to carry the teams to victory for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Usually we have a good running game, and we had actually a pretty solid one. I got one player I want to highlight is Sunshine. We call him Callum Smith. He just took over that game. It's like he just had an X factor. We're down, I think we were down 14 nothing if I get it corrected when I watched the game because I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure we were down 14 nothing. In that second half, he just came out and he was like, I just want the ball. I just want to open up this game. I want to score points. He gets us in scoring position, and then we score our first touchdown of the year. Aiden Van
You know,
Van Mill, yeah, scores our touchdown off a screen pass. Surprisingly, a screen pass. To be honest, we're not the strongest team at passing the rock, but in the rain too, screen pass, he did it himself. Just coming juking out a couple of defenders. It was very good. Good to see the Welling guys have some, positives leaving that game, leaving at G Fest. But next game we want to move to is a great game too. I actually, when I watched it, it was West Niagara versus Meyer Purple. Meyer Purple wins 22-14. West Niagara look like they're coming together. How do you think what that
yeah,
game went?
yeah, no, for sure. And again, another tough one, right? Like there were a couple passes there that Ezra Ivory made, but again, it's the that weather just kind of determined it was going to be a running game, right? And yeah, it was close for the for a bit, but we pulled away. Meyer Purple pulled away on that one, 22-14. but yeah, again, going back to West Niagara, they are coming together. I believe it's number 14 is their QB. Another solid game. I'm liking what I've seen from that kid. Um, so we'll see this fall. Coming high school and see how good he does.
Yeah, their whole team as a whole is coming together. West Niagara. They're gonna. Who do they play next week? Let me think. Meyer White. They play Meyer White next week. That's gonna be another good test. But let's now go on to the Meyer White game. They just beat St. Catharines Red 14-0. And I'm gonna be honest, I was pretty shocked at that score line. Only 14 points against. Not saying St. Catharines Red is like bad program, bad team, but I'm saying Meyer White is the best of the best. 14-0, I was pretty shocked, but that just shows that St. Catharines Red is here to play.
Yeah, no, guaranteed. And I mean, again, they shut down the quarter or the running back number three on Meyer White, Marco, my kid. So yeah, and again, it was tight all the way through. I think it was 7-0 right up until the end, and Meyer White scored like basically on the second last play of the game. So kudos to St. Catharines Red. They took it to them, and they were there to play.
Yeah, the Hebert brothers were played a pretty good game for the St. Catharines Red. They're still doing their thing. The Himberts, that's what I'm always going to call them. But let's go into this. Let's go into next week's schedule. Uh, I'm just going to say the next week's schedules. St. Catharines Red versus the Welland JV Loop at G Fest at 6:30. West Niagara versus Meyer White 6:30 at Meyer. St. Catharines Black versus A Meyer Purple at 8:30 on Meyer. So who's your game of the week for that?
Well, I do like that first game, right? The St. Catharines Red against Welland. That's gonna be a tough matchup for you guys. But that'll be a really good matchup and a really good test for you guys. I could see you guys getting the first dub of the season on that
I
one there.
I hope.
I,
I
I can
really
I
hope.
can see it. But
I
I'm gonna call the second game as the game of the week. So it's gonna be
West Niagara
Meyer White
versus.
versus West End. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that game going to be really good. Give me a test for all four quarters. West Niagara, I I, I think like that I think West Niagara is going to figure out what St. Catharines Red did so great last week.
Hmm.
Use it to their advantage. Meyer White obviously has some things they need to fix up. Not big things they need to fix up. But once they fix that up, I think West Niagara is going to expect those things, and it's going to be a lot tighter game for four quarters.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Like Zach Silverthorne and those coaches there at West Niagara will figure that out once they watch that game tape.
What do you think about the St. Catharines Black versus Meyer Purple game at night? The night game, the primetime game.
That's that's an interesting matchup. So I mean, St. Catharines Black is coming off of a bye, so they've been working on things, I'm sure, and trying to fix whatever they need to do to get their first victory. But right now they have no dubs, so I can see it being a tight game, but at the end, I think I'm trying to be biased, but I think Purple will come away with that one.
Yeah, I think Meyer Purple will come away with that win. I think if what I've seen in the past 2 weeks, St. Catharines Black, if the things that they needed to work on, if they do work on those things that they did in the bye week, be a lot closer game than people are going to think. And it's prime
Yeah,
time, so you got to come out and play hard.
100%. I mean, going on like just talking about that, fixing those things and the games being close. You saw what the weather did this week, right? Where maybe you thought a game would be a blowout or whatnot, or a receiver or a quarterback would have a massive day. That all got nullified by the weather, right? So
Yeah, you're
um,
right.
it was just miserable, football, and it was a testament to the teams and to the players that can grind it out and stick it out in that just miserable weather. And a lot of players don't like playing in that, right? It's not for everybody. So yeah, it really showed this week, and it nullified a lot of things that a lot of guys were doing, especially when you're getting or when you have plays that are based on timing. It threw timing off, it threw snaps off, it threw throws off, it threw everything off, right? So it was a big nullifier for sure.
Yeah, 100%. The rain game. Hopefully, it's better weather next Thursday for a
Ah,
lot of Thursday night classics.
yes.
But who do you have as your three players of the week?
Oh, okay. So Well, I mean, I think we've mentioned one, but I'm going to tell you something. All these guys have one thing in common. We'll go back to it after. So my first star of the week, with I guess he had like about 7 tackles for losses and a touchdown, is the running back and D lineman at GFS, Andreas Hercules. So
Mm,
this big
yeah.
big dude, can play linebacker, can play D line, can play fullback or running back. Again, just he can carry the load for sure, and he had a really strong game.
He did. He
Yeah,
did. He had a strong game against us. When you have a big bod like that, that can run can move like
yeah.
that, impossible, almost nearly impossible to stop him.
He just wears you down, right?
Yeah.
So you can keep giving him the ball. He can just kind of wear defenses down, and to the point where you're like, oh man, I got to tackle this guy again, right? So yeah, it's a big body, and not the fastest guy, not the slowest guy. He can move, but and when he hits you, you know it, right? So
You're gonna feel
again,
it the next day. You're gonna feel it at
exactly,
play. If you try to do that play after play after play,
yeah,
by like the fourth time you try to do it, it's not gonna happen.
yeah.
No.
So my second star, you ready for this one?
Let's hear it.
Isaac Ebert.
Yeah, let's go.
There
The
you go.
Hemberts, one of the Hemberts finally make it.
They do, yeah. So again, multiple catches, and runs after the catch. So the kid was, spinning off guys, off tacklers, and making plays defensively. Uh, so yeah, like I mean, again, it doesn't go unnoticed, right? So you saw him in the first few weeks, again making plays and catches. He made one catch. I can't remember which. I think it was like second quarter, but just basically just outmuscled the defender to grab the ball. So he's made huge steps. They both the brothers have, but making huge steps. From coming from generals and down at Thorold Secondary, right? So and now coming up to JV Loop, and then this year again, I think they're gonna have both of them will have a really good season up there under Coach Kent.
100%. That fires me up. Hearing Isaac's name right there. When I coached him 2 years
Great
ago.
story.
Yeah, he's the man. Like, but both of the brothers are. They're both great, and they use their size to advantage. They're not the biggest guys. They're obviously not the tallest guys. They're a little tiny, but they use their size to advantage, and they blow up people. And I absolutely love seeing that. It absolutely surprises me to this day.
Yeah.
Isaac Himbert. That fires me up. Who is your third star of the week?
My third star would be Brett Wall. So again, he had a touchdown in the Meyer White game. He closed out the game with a touchdown. But again, just great receiver and just a phenomenal blocker. So that's the one thing that kind of goes unnoticed, not by myself or by some of the coaches, but by people that watch him. The kid blocks, so he's making plays even though he doesn't have the ball, right? So again, again, only the one touchdown, but I think he made a couple catches. And again, the blocking is just phenomenal, right? So he's opening up guys and opening up holes for guys, and doing what he has to do quietly, just like a quiet leader. And he does what he needs to do. You give him the assignment, and that's it. It's taken care of. So he's my third star. But guess what they all have in common?
What do they all have in common?
All former generals.
That's great.
All of them are former generals. Every single one of them. So yeah. So it's a testament to that program,
And to the
to the generals
development.
program. Yeah, that exactly it. And there's a lot of guys, guys that we talked about. You talk about Van Mills, you talk about the Sunshines, all those guys, and coming through the system and playing generals and playing minor football house league. So kudos to all those kids putting in all that work and developing and getting to this point.
And it's finally being showed on. It's finally being showed up on Creators Fro's Instagram, YouTube. Another stellar week from Creative Fro. Gotta say, I'm gonna say it
Yeah.
every week. Stellar week. But yeah, those type of players that are coming from this through the system, literally coming through the development program. That's what we like the Niagara Generals. It's from literally a first time touching the ball when you're what, like 7 years old, maybe younger,
Hmm.
to now making a name for yourself in the JV loop and actually anywhere you go, even in the fall leagues. It's amazing to see. Just prime example, Isaac, your second star of
Hmm.
the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
the man.
And for and for
That's
sure,
awesome.
a lot of these guys too that are coming through, like, we'll mention the names and stuff, but you'll see them, you'll hear their names getting dropped in like BP Sports that they're getting signed by, whichever university and they're playing here. And again, testament to that program and to those kids, right? Coming through and working hard, and getting to that next level, right? Right after high school.
Yeah, they grind. You're gonna see. I can't wait to see whatever school is lucky enough to get both of the Himberts in what 4 years, 3 years. That would be pretty awesome.
You never know, right? Like, so yeah, 100%.
And then I know next week or this week actually, I know a great player that's coming back for St. Catherine's Black. Jake Bover is coming back.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I was
is that
talking to him.
official?
I don't know if it's official, but he was telling me that he'll be back after the bye week for St. Catherine's Black. I can't wait to
Just in
watch him
time.
play because perfect timing
Hmm.
too. He's a big player, big player. He's an absolute and he's a character, complete character. Can't wait to
Oh
see
yeah.
him play. But I don't know. They were playing St. Catherine's Black, St. Catherine's Red. The All St. Catherine's matchup was playing at Meyer week two
Hmm.
before my Wilding guys played before we played. And I see Jake over on the sidelines. Go say what's up to him. And he goes, "I'll be back in 2 weeks. You're gonna hear my name on the show." All right, let's hear it. Let's see. Maybe he'll be one of your stars next week.
He might be, again, here's another guy, right? Just he's got a motor on him, right? And not the biggest guy, but he's got a nose for the ball. I saw him this our last fall, and shockingly, in the backfield consistently getting past the end, and he just grinds it out and finds a way to get to that ball. So kudos to him, and I expect him to have a big game, his first game back.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I can't wait. I love seeing Bower play. He just plays he just I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. He's just such a big impact player everywhere he goes.
Yeah, no,
He's
100%.
But I want to say one thing about my Wildland Warriors is our defense this week. Absolutely. Each week seems like they're improving. They're having great weeks in great practices, week in and week out. But one player that we just got, Seth Bisky? How do you say his
Yeah,
last?
Biscuit.
Bisky, yeah. He was a
Yeah,
terrorizer this week. I was watching his film, and obviously the coaches were telling me right after the game how well he played, and I was like, okay, I'm down for
that's a good
this.
pickup.
That's a fantastic pickup. I didn't really expect anything or know anything about him. And then he was an absolute he was disrupting plays all week in practice. And I go, oh yeah, I think we found ourselves a beast comes out. And then I guess the boys were telling me before the game that he just loves to play in the rain. The rain's his favorite time. So yeah, I mean, he put it on a full stride. But the whole defense did good this week, and I'm happy. And our offense is finally coming together, or run
Yeah.
game. So I want to say happy to the boys. Um, but yeah, every game was good this week.
Yeah, no, for sure. And when you can limit, QB Cam and the offense to 14 points, that's a pretty good day, right?
Hmm.
And I mean, and from what I'm seeing and understand, like you guys had the ball late in the game, making a drive. So, it could have tied that up, right?
Yeah, but that would have been awesome. I'm about to do. I'm in a what is it? I'm about to take photos for Canada's football prospect game of all the positional groups. And I'm just getting a text message in that group chat. One of the coaches are like, 32 seconds left. It's 14-6. We're driving. We're on like the 20-yard line. I go, oh my God, we're driving. First and 10. Just got 10 yards. We're on like the 50. We're on like the 10-yard line now. I'm like, oh my God. Next play, fumble. I go, oh my God. I wish I watched that game. That must have been a crazy
Heartbreak.
ending. Or, well, no, we didn't fumble. We threw a pick because we had to throw a Hail Mary.
Oh, okay.
Didn't come out on top, but yeah, that my heart was pounding, and when I was at Holloway and Hamilton, it felt like I was like, damn, I wish I was there. But this week I'll be back, and hopefully we can get a W for the boys.
Yeah, and like I said, it was close, right? 14-6, right? So, it's a close game. So, nothing to get too down on, right? You guys were
Yeah,
in it, right?
Yeah, we were
So
in it
yeah,
all 4 quarters, and but stopping QB Cam, I gotta say, this guy, he has wheels. I talked to like all the coaches right after the game too, and I go, "How did QB Cam do against us? How did he do against us?" And he goes, "Yeah, we stopped him sometimes, but it seemed like as the drive got longer and the boys got tired and we were moving guys in, he would just go off. I think he went off for like a 40-yard run on us." Like he knew how to pick us apart. The coaching staff at GFest also knew how to pick us apart. Like they drawed up those QB sneaks perfectly. I think we stopped him
yeah,
for the most part, but when went off for those 40-yard runs, there was like really nothing we could do, and it was like, wow, he is like that.
yeah. It's and again, you can you know hope to maybe you want to hope to stop the kid, right? But maybe it's just try to
Yeah,
contain those those long runs, but because he's going to get them, right?
yeah,
You won't be able to stop him completely. He's going to get his share of runs. So
yeah,
just hopefully kind of contain those drives, and it looks like, and again, for the most part you guys did that. They only put up 14 points, so
yeah.
kudos to that defense, right?
But I gotta say too, it is fun watching him play that quarterback play, and I
It's exciting.
honestly, he's just he's fun. He's a blast. The guys were telling me that he did get a little shaken up last week, so I do hope he's all right. I hope he's okay. Um, but like man, him running his wheels and he can throw that ball. We know he has an arm strength. We've seen it for time and time. He's gonna be amazing. But do you have anything else you want to talk about for this week coming up, or even last week?
No, as far as the games go this week, again, all Thursday night games, doubleheader again at Meyer, and then your game at you guys are at G Fest.
Yeah, Reggie Fest.
Um, yeah, but hopefully the weather, holds up for everybody, and we're not stuck in the rain again. But I wanted to comment on your. There was a great, interview with Dwayne Ford at CFC. So I know I shared that, and I watched that. That was pretty cool.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was a good weekend watching the best, but I gotta tell you, some of the players in this JV loop could also be there.
Oh yes, I agree with you 1,000%, not 100%, 1,000%. Definitely, some of our guys could be there, hands down,
Yeah,
no issue there. Yeah,
100%. But it was a
I'm sure there's a lot
blast.
of good talent.
Oh, 1,000%. You know, it was a good weekend being there at the CFC and actually and it was the cool thing too was being in coaches meetings with the players as even though I was working it. But I was still listening and taking how like university coaches and how the football north coaches conduct teams and teams meetings and stuff like that and how they install plays literally have 48 hours until a game and they're installing playbooks for these quarterbacks and how the quarterbacks work how I see it basically how I see it how a university level team or well a university level coaches conduct a team. That's what I got to take away from the weekend is how cool that was. So maybe I could bring it
Yeah,
into the future of how I'm coaching here. But also, what I got to say to that is watching that game yesterday. That's going to be aired tomorrow night. Well, Monday night because this is coming out Monday. So literally tonight, 7:30 on TSN 4. Nice little shameless plug. Uh, a lot of talent on that field too, but we have guys just like those guys all around the country that could also be at the CFC prospect game and make their names known. And I hope next year that some of the guys do go to the tryouts, do go and have a chance at this game because that was a great weekend and a lot of publicity there too. A lot of all the so many universities, countless universities were there watching practices, walkthroughs and stuff like that. And we had media I was part of the media and really showcased these kids this week and showcased the talent and I think anyone or we have numerous kids in the Niagara region that could easily be there.
yeah, no, a good way to get some exposure, especially for maybe a kid from a smaller school or a school that doesn't get looked at or doesn't have somebody come out. Definitely a great way to get exposure if you can get there. I think for the most part, I know a lot of those coaches um, that are at CFC will already have known or have seen or have an indication on some of those kids for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Um, like the one guy I actually truthfully could be there that I'm coaching this year is Carter Smith. The IQ, he has the exact same or even a better IQ, some of these kids I saw this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. Yeah,
Like I was texting him. I go, Carter, you can be here, man. I text him right after this. I went to this defensive meeting. I was just popping my head through it and we were just sitting there. And I text him. I go, Carter, you can easily be here, man. You're gonna go to the next level. You're that smart. You're even a little more. I'd say he's kind of more smarter than some of those kids. Not putting down any
yeah,
kid, obviously, but
yeah.
he's like the IQ that I've seen from Carter for the last 3 weeks since I've been here coaching.
Hmm.
He's got the brain. He's got the football. He got the brain. He's got the size to play football at the next level. Maybe get a little bigger in the gym a
You
little
still
bit.
got some time to grow, right? You got to put it all. You got to
Exactly.
put it all together. And once you put that all together, and the possibilities are pretty endless. So
100%. We're gonna be hearing Carter
yeah,
Schmidt's name on Sundays or Saturdays. Hopefully Sundays maybe.
you never know. You never know. But you heard him last week on the 3 star. So
100%. Yeah. Maybe we'll see him again. Maybe we'll hear about him next week too. And as one of the 3 stars.
a multi 3 star player. That could. You never
That,
know.
that would be
Who will be the
crazy.
first? Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, yo, Vince, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
All right, let's do it
Anytime.
again next week. Another Thursday night classics this week coming up. The weather hopefully is better, and let's do it. Thursday night
All
classics
right.
happen at Meyer and G Fest on Thursday. Hope to see everyone there, and stay tuned every Monday. Me and Vince will be recapping the games.
All right. Peace.
All right, ciao.